Howdy, and welcome to the fun and frosty history of snowmen. And this is Farmer's Almanac. Site. Time to make a snowman. Yeah, there's probably some people who have to deal with some snowfall at the moment or in the coming days and months. But whose idea was it anyway? How long have people been building them? We've got some interesting and little known facts about these life size winter creations. Yeah, I guess you know how a snowman looks, and you also know that there are many, many different versions of it. If you're a snow lover, you probably get excited when you hear a big storm is in the forecast. Whether you appreciate the quiet that snowfall brings, enjoy winter sports, or simply love to play in it, we can all agree that there's something special about piles of the white, fluffy stuff. Especially exciting is building a snowman. An inexpensive and fun activity for the whole family. But did you ever stop and wonder who built the first snowman? How and where did they originate? Yes, I did. Snowmen through history. In Japan, snowmen are good luck charms and are constructed with two balls and a lit candle placed in the cavity of its stomach. It was a snowman that was rallying cry for the French in the Revolution 1870. She was a beautiful sculpture created by some of France's most accomplished artists, who at the time happened to also be soldiers on the battlefield. So, who made the first snowman? Snowman making is one of man's oldest forms of folk art. The first postcards, the first magazines, the first silent movies. It's a snowman you find appearing during key historical moments, like a frozen Forrest Gump. We hold very few of our daily activities in common with our ancestors, but making snowmen is one of the last remaining. It's worth noting that for most children, making a snowman is the first and probably the last time they will create a life-size human figure. It is impossible to decisively identify the very first snowman, but some archaeologists believe it's plausible that prehistoric peoples also used snow to depict themselves. Cavemen made art with all materials available, whether it was mud, wood, sticks, or we can only speculate that a piece of coal may have at one time been the eye of a prehistoric snowman. Snow guards. The first recorded snowman in the US comes from one of the bloodiest events in early American history. So you can read the rest of that. I won't dive into this because there are many reasons. So we go over to Wikipedia and we don't have to dive into gore stuff. Snowman is an anthropomorphic snow sculpture of a man often built in regions with sufficient snowfall and is a common winter tradition. In many places, typical snowman consists of three large snowballs of different sizes with some additional accoutrements for facial and other features. Due to the sculptability of snow, there is also a wide variety of other styles. Common accessories include branches for arms, a rudimentary smiley face with a carrot used for a nose. Clothing such as a hat or scarf may be included. The low cost of common availability of materials means snowmen are usually abundant once completed. Let's have another look at another snowman. The carrot, smiley face, the branches as hands or arms. We have to go down, I think, a bit to the history. Documentation of the first snowman is unclear. However, Bob Eckstein, author of The History of the Snowman, documented snowmen from the Middle Ages by reaching artistic depictions in European museums, art galleries, and libraries. I probably accidentally pronounced European correctly. But anyway, small step for men. The earliest documentation he found was a marginal illustration from a 1380 Book of Hours found in the Koninklijke Bibliotheek in The Hague. The earliest known photograph of a snowman was taken circa 1853 by Welsh photographer Mary Dlubin, the original of which is in the collections of the National Library of Wales. While the origin of snowmen remains unclear, they have been used throughout history to make statements. In 1511, the city of Brussels held a snowman festival in hopes of appeasing its hungry and poor citizens. However, instead of building snowmen, the people built pornographic sculptures throughout the city. Yeah, why not? There were no carrots to spare, you know. The concept of snowmen had made its way to North America by the massacre of 1619. Yeah. How nice. It is said in the night of the massacre, 2 guards were in charge of guarding the north gate of the settlement of Sinisteri, built 2 snowmen to guard the gates while they went to the pub. Snowman became more mainstream when Frosty the Snowman came out in 1969, which originated from a song of the same name from 1950. So, while the origin of snowmen remains unclear, they have been used throughout history to make statements. Documentation of the first snowman is unclear. One book describes classic snowman attachments as a black felt top hat, red scarf, coal eye pieces, carrot nose, and a corncob pipe. So, since I'm in Finland, I thought I'd search for some Finnish snowman, and that's from a page which creates this kind of small scale things of whatever. Trains, houses, and And in this case, we have a snowman. Lumiukko, vuorokaudessa valmistunut joulutervehdysmalli. Talvinen sää inspiroi minua rakentamaan lumiukkon, mutta mallarin ei kuitenkaan tarvitse sitä varten poistua lämpimästä 4 seinän sisältä ja kohdata kylmää, julmaa ja noin 35 kertaa liian ison maailmaa. So this person was creating this kind of snowman on a small scale at home. He or she didn't have to go outside, so that's just a model of it. So I took a screenshot of that. I will put links below to all of the things I showed until now. That's our snowman. And I've been building snowmans by myself. Several of them. And I never really wondered about them, but recently I started to wonder about them, and it somehow just kept rolling around in my head for some time, because there was other stuff to think about as well. And maybe I figured something out. And this is what I came up with. Obviously, I messed up just before when I added the last picture, which I somehow forgot. So this is... You can basically see it's done live, because... Well, anyway. This is the snowman we just watched before in a small scale. And he is surrounded by a bunch of things. Let's start just by its very form. We have basically spheres upon spheres, which are in a way quite similar to some petroglyphs in ancient times. It's in a way maybe Jacob's ladder. I know it's very small, you cannot read them anymore, but you can check them out. There are all these pictures from those plasma things are from Anthony Pratt. Characteristics for the occurrence of a high currency pinch aurora as recorded in the antiquity. And I think they are all from part 1. For those who didn't know, the paper has a part 2 as well. Furthermore, this kind of round structures stacked on top of each other. In a way, you can see them also in other petroglyphs, where we have these round features, and they are from all over the place. Mali, Southwest USA, and, you know. And that's the basic form of that. And there's actually a third one which also could be representing these round spheres stacked on top of each other. Then let's go to the broom. Some of those snowmen carry a broom, which I think could represent Thunderbolt, as also he has a thunderbolt, and it's just, the upper side of it. That's why the snowman has a broom every now and then. And also, as a tradition, are the sticks or branches as arms. And I think they're representing probably dendritical patterns, such as we have also from electric discharge events. Then we have the smiley face, which has been mentioned before as well. Snowman is always smiling. I think it is representing this, the bull. It is a smiley face, after all, in a way. We also not only have this shape here, but we also have this red thing here, which is Mars. Now, it's a little bit overdrawn, but there is a carrot, which is his nose, and it's red. And it might be a carrot, because according to the ancients, there has been going on some discharge event from Mars, which was a pillar in the sky, and is elongated and rather red. That's why the red isn't, the nose is red of the snowman. And the last, what I forgot earlier to add, is the scarf. In this case, it's this kind of whatever color it is. But usually, I think, they are scarves and like on other flags and coat of arms and all these kind of things where we have those curtains. They are representing Aurora Borealis. And maybe also these, I don't know how they're called, Knöpfli, buttons. Yeah, there are buttons in English. Now I remember the English word for it. They could be those as well. The same thing, just on a smaller scale. Okay, this is what I came up when I noticed that I obviously thought about snowmen. And I've been making some research to some degree about the origins of snowmen, and it somehow seems that no one really knows where they came from. What's the thing about them, you know? And this is my contribution to this mystery. It is maybe representing just the polar configuration after all. Plasma instabilities, plasma stabilities, discharge events, thunderbolts, Mars, Saturn, dendritical patterns. But that's just what I think. If you know where to find the perfect explanation for why we build snowmans, why snowmans have these features like carrot in the nose, and it's not just, you know, a broom is probably the most expensive thing what you use for a snowman if you just leave it there and rot it, if you don't gather the stuff after it melted. And there's probably also a reason why the stick has to be in this position and not the other way around. You know? But that's just what I think. Some little thoughts about snowmen. Thanks. Bye.